Locksmiths is a 2000 Mickey, Donald, and Goofy cartoon. This aired originally as part of Mickey Mouse Works. I watched it as part of the House of Mouse episode Super Goof, which aired in 2002. It kind of slightly fits in with the Super Goof theme just because Goofy's in it, otherwise, it's pretty separate. But Mickey, Donald, and Goofy run a locksmiths. And it turns out that they're actually having a bit of bother with a key, and things do not go to plan. And they have to try and find this key, use this key, open this door. It seems like it should be straightforward for locksmiths, but everything that could go wrong does. And the narrative's interesting enough. I wouldn't say I was particularly emotionally invested in how they would resolve this situation, but it was fun enough. It wasn't completely predictable. Things became more ludicrous as it went on, and I enjoyed it well enough. But particularly what I loved is Goofy's dialogue. Now I'm not the biggest fan of Goofy, but sometimes he will have the best lines. And there's this moment that I won't go into too much detail about because I don't want to spoil it, but he's reeling off these types of keys, and then he starts to say all kinds of other words that make sense and sound wonderful. And his commentary on some of the words I thought was brilliant. It's one of my favorite, I guess you could say it's a bit of a monologue he has as he reels off all of these things for quite some time. And it's one of my favorite bits of Disney monologue in one of these cartoons that I've ever heard. I absolutely adored it and would happily listen to that bit again and again. And I may well do. So the narrative was interesting, but I thought that the dialogue and the monologues from Goofy were some of the best I've ever heard. Very well written. Obviously, the animation was very good. It gets a little bit silly, a little bit goofy, if you like, um, a little bit unpredictable, and I think that that works really well. As part of Super Goof, it was good enough. It wasn't exactly what I would have expected from that episode, but sometimes the cartoons don't always fit in perfectly at House of Mouse. I guess it just depends on what's available and what they can kind of shoehorn into the theme. But on its own, Locksmiths was a very enjoyable cartoon. Not my all-time favourite Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, but definitely a strong contender. Definitely something I really enjoyed. If you haven't seen it and you're a fan of the trio or of Disney in general, I'd say it's without question one that's worth checking out.